In a quaint village nestled between towering, ancient trees, a chilling legend hung in the air like a dense fog, the legend of the Scissor Witch. For generations, the villagers warned their children, "Stay close, or the witch will snip away your fate." This ominous phrase echoed through the cobbled streets, creating a sense of dread that settled over the community, particularly as night fell. It was said that the witch roamed the dark woods after sunset, scissors gleaming in her hands, waiting to ensnare the unwary. Among the villagers was a spirited 10-year-old boy named Lucas, whose curiosity was as boundless as the sky above. Unlike his peers, who shivered at the mention of the witch, Lucas found himself captivated by the stories. Each tale spun by the elders painted vivid pictures in his mind, transforming fear into intrigue. He was drawn to the idea of adventure and the possibility of discovering the truth behind the terrifying tales. With bright eyes full of wonder, Lucas often sat in the village square, listening intently as the elders recounted the witch's dark enchantments. They spoke of children who had vanished, lured by the witch's whispers, and of brave souls who had ventured into the woods never to return. Yet, while others trembled at the thought, Lucas felt a flicker of excitement. What if the witch wasn't as frightening as everyone believed? What if, beneath the tales of horror, there lay a story of her own? As twilight descended one fateful evening, Lucas felt an irresistible pull toward the woods. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting an orange glow that bathed the village in warmth. What if I'm the one to uncover the truth? He mused, excitement bubbling within him. His friends dared him to explore the woods, and he felt a surge of courage. After all, bravery was meant to be tested. As the last rays of sunlight faded, Lucas quietly slipped out of his house. He knew he shouldn't venture out alone, especially at night, but the thrill of the unknown urged him forward. Armed with only a small flashlight and a heart full of adventure, he stepped into the shadowy embrace of the woods, ready to embrace whatever awaited him. The air grew cooler as he wandered deeper, the comforting sounds of the village fading into an eerie silence. Shadows loomed around him, and the branches above twisted like bony fingers reaching out to ensnare him. Each rustle of leaves sent shivers down his spine, but Lucas pressed on, determined to uncover the truth behind the legend. After what felt like an eternity, Lucas stumbled upon a clearing. In its center stood an old, decrepit cabin, its wooden walls weathered by time and neglect. A sense of foreboding washed over him, yet his curiosity outweighed his fear. The stories had painted a vivid picture of this place. Could it really be the witch's lair? With a deep breath, he approached the cabin, heart racing. The door, slightly ajar, creaked ominously as he pushed it open. Inside, the atmosphere was thick with an eerie stillness, broken only by the sound of his own breath. The dim light revealed a clutter of odd trinkets and bizarre artifacts, potions bubbling in jars, bones hanging from the ceiling, and a large, ornate pair of scissors resting on a dusty table. Suddenly, the room grew colder, and a chilling voice sliced through the silence. "What brings a little one like you into my home?" Startled, Lucas spun around to find the Scissor Witch standing in the shadows. Her long, silver hair flowed like mist, and her eyes glowed with an unsettling light. Clad in tattered robes, she exuded an aura of both fear and enchantment. "I came to see if you were real," Lucas stammered, his voice trembling. He felt the weight of every tale he had ever heard, each one painting her as a monstrous figure who preyed on the innocent. But standing before her, he was entranced, caught between fear and fascination. The witch chuckled, a sound that sent chills down his spine. But I am very real, young boy, and you, with your foolish bravery, have wandered into my domain." She stepped closer, her presence commanding yet strangely magnetic. "Do you not know the tales? Many have entered these woods, but few have returned." Lucas's heart raced as he recalled the warnings of his friends and family. "I'm not afraid of you," he declared, attempting to summon courage. "You're just a story. I want to know the truth." The witch's eyes narrowed, a flicker of intrigue dancing across her face. "Very well, brave one. I shall offer you a choice, a chance to prove your bravery. She gestured toward the scissors on the table, their blades glinting ominously in the dim light. "Take these scissors and snip a lock of your own hair. In doing so, you will seal your fate with me." Lucas hesitated, the weight of the decision heavy on his shoulders. The scissors looked sharp and deadly, and he could feel a sense of foreboding creeping over him. But the allure of the challenge was undeniable. What did it mean to seal his fate? Was it a chance to gain power or a step toward doom? "Why would I do that?" he asked, trying to mask his uncertainty. "What will happen if I do?" The witch leaned closer, her voice a whisper that seemed to echo through the cabin. "With a single snip, you could gain a power unlike any other, or you could lose everything you hold dear. It is a gamble, young one. Will you take it?" Lucas felt a surge of defiance. He was not about to back down. "I'm not afraid of you," he shouted again, determination igniting within him. "I'll do it." As he reached for the scissors, the atmosphere crackled with tension. The witch watched him intently, a wicked smile spreading across her face. He grasped the cold metal, feeling its weight in his hand. The moment felt monumental, an intersection between childhood and the unknown. With a swift motion, Lucas lifted the scissors to his hair. He took a deep breath, heart pounding in his chest, and with a quick snip, he severed a lock of hair. The sound was sharp and final, echoing through the cabin. In that instant, a wave of energy surged through the room. The witch's smile faltered, her expression shifting from amusement to surprise. Lucas felt the power radiate around him, illuminating the darkness. The scissors began to tremble in his hand, and a gust of wind swept through the cabin, swirling around him like a tempest. "What have you done?" the witch exclaimed, her voice filled with a mix of fear and disbelief. The air thickened with magic, the very essence of the witch's power vibrating with intensity. "I've taken control of my own fate," Lucas shouted, a newfound confidence coursing through him. The fear that had gripped him moments before transformed into a fierce determination. He realized that he had challenged the narrative of the witch's legend, rewriting his own story in the process. The witch's form began to flicker, shadows swirling around her as if struggling to maintain her presence. "You dare defy me?" she hissed, but there was a tremor in her voice, an acknowledgement of the shift in power. "Yes!" Lucas cried, stepping forward. "I'm not just a child to be toyed with. I have the courage to face you." The cabin began to vibrate, and the walls shimmered with a strange light. Lucas felt a connection to the stories that had filled his childhood, the tales of bravery, the lessons of confronting one's fears. He had become part of the legend, the boy who stood against the Scissor Witch. With one final push of will, Lucas raised the scissors high, channeling the energy that surged within him. "You will not control me. I will be the master of my own fate." In a blinding flash of light, the witch screamed, her form disintegrating into shadows that danced around the room. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, and Lucas felt the weight of fear dissolve. The cabin, once a symbol of terror, now felt like a sanctuary of empowerment. As the light faded, Lucas stood alone in the clearing, the forest around him still and serene. The cabin had vanished, leaving no trace of the witch's presence. He looked down at the lock of hair he had cut, now shimmering with a faint glow, a testament to his bravery and the choice he had made. With a heart full of courage, Lucas made his way back through the woods. The path was no longer shrouded in darkness. Instead, it felt alive with possibility. The whispers of the trees seemed to celebrate his victory, a reminder that he had faced his fears and emerged stronger. When he reached the village, the sun was beginning to rise, casting golden rays across the rooftops. The townsfolk were starting to stir, unaware of the transformation that had taken place. Lucas knew that the tales of the Scissor Witch would continue to echo in their hearts, but he had rewritten the narrative. He walked into the village square, his friends gathering around him. "You won't believe what happened," he exclaimed, excitement bubbling in his voice. As he recounted his adventure, the children listened wide-eyed, their fears beginning to wane. "Maybe the witch isn't as scary as we thought," one of his friends whispered, glancing at the woods with newfound curiosity. Maybe she's just a story waiting to be challenged. Lucas smiled, feeling a bond with his friends that had deepened through the shared experience. The village began to transform as well, the fear of the witch fading into tales of bravery and adventure. Parents no longer warned their children of the Scissor Witch with terror. Instead, they spoke of courage and the importance of facing one's fears. As the days passed, Lucas found himself exploring the woods again, this time with his friends by his side. They ventured into the forest, laughing and playing, no longer haunted by the witch's legend. Lucas knew that the stories would continue to exist, but they would serve as a reminder of the power of bravery and the strength found in facing the unknown. One day, as they played in the woods, Lucas decided to gather his friends around a large, gnarled tree. Its branches twisted into the sky, resembling a giant reaching out to the heavens. "I want to share a story with you all," he said, excitement in his voice. His friends settled down, their eyes wide with anticipation. Lucas began, weaving a tale not of fear, but of adventure and courage. He told them about the witch, but instead of the dreadful figure they had imagined, he painted her as a misunderstood being, trapped by her own magic. "Imagine if the witch had been waiting for someone brave enough to face her," Lucas proposed. "What if she wanted to break free from her own darkness?" His friends listened intently, captivated by the idea that perhaps the witch was not evil, but a soul yearning for liberation. As he spoke, Lucas realized that he was not just recounting a story, he was reshaping the narrative of fear that had loomed over the village for so long. His friends began to share their own interpretations, crafting a collective tale that painted the Scissor Witch in a new light, one of complexity and depth. Days turned into weeks, and the children of the village continued to explore the woods, fueled by the stories they had created together. They found secret paths, hidden clearings, and magical spots where the sunlight danced through the leaves. With each adventure, the bond between them deepened, and the legends of the witch transformed into stories of bravery, friendship, and imagination. One fateful afternoon, while exploring a new area of the woods, Lucas and his friends stumbled upon a glimmering pond, its surface reflecting the sky above like a mirror. They sat at the water's edge, their feet splashing in the cool water, laughter filling the air. "Do you think the witch ever comes here?" one of his friends asked, eyes wide with wonder. "Maybe she does," Lucas replied thoughtfully. "But if she does, I bet she watches over us, making sure we're safe." The thought sparked a sense of magic within them, and the children made a pact. If they ever encountered the Scissor Witch again, they would treat her with kindness and courage, not fear. As the seasons changed, so did the village. The stories of the Scissor Witch began to spread beyond the borders, reaching neighboring towns. Parents no longer warned their children of her. Instead, they encouraged them to embrace the tales of bravery that had emerged. One evening, as autumn leaves painted the landscape in vibrant hues, a traveling storyteller arrived in the village. With a warm smile and a twinkle in his eye, he gathered the children around the fire, ready to share his own tales. Lucas, now brimming with confidence, approached the storyteller. "I have a story about the Scissor Witch," he said, voice steady and clear. "Can I share it with everyone?" The storyteller nodded, intrigued by the spark of determination in the boy's eyes. Lucas stepped forward, his friends gathering around to support him. As he recounted his adventure with the witch, the villagers listened in rapt attention. Lucas spoke not of horror, but of bravery, the transformative power of facing one's fears, and the strength found in unity. When he finished, a hush fell over the crowd. Then, one by one, the villagers erupted into applause, their faces lit with appreciation. The storyteller grinned, patting Lucas on the back. "You've woven a beautiful tale, young man. The Scissor Witch is no longer a figure of terror. She's a reminder of courage and hope." From that day forward, the village embraced a new tradition. Each year, on the eve of autumn, they would gather to celebrate the Day of the Scissor Witch, a day dedicated to sharing stories of bravery and adventure. Children would tell tales of their own encounters with the witch, each one filled with wonder and excitement. As the years rolled on, Lucas grew up, but the spirit of adventure never left him. He became a storyteller, traveling far and wide, spreading the message of courage and the importance of confronting fear. The tales of the Scissor Witch transformed from a story of dread into one of empowerment, a narrative that inspired countless others to face their fears. In the village, the trees whispered secrets of bravery, and the woods thrummed with energy. Children ran freely, their laughter echoing through the forest, unafraid of the tales that had once haunted their dreams. The Scissor Witch became a beloved legend, not as a figure of terror, but as a symbol of courage that resonated in the hearts of all who heard the tales. And so, in the quiet corners of the village and the depths of the woods, the legacy of the Scissor Witch lived on, a reminder that sometimes the greatest battles we face are not against external foes, but within ourselves. Lucas had embraced his fears, rewritten his own story, and in doing so, he inspired a new generation to do the same. The woods remained alive with whispers, but now they spoke of adventure, courage, and the bravery of a boy who dared to confront the darkness. As the sun set each night, casting long shadows over the village, the stories continued, stories of courage, transformation, and the magical power of believing in oneself. The Scissor Witch was no longer a cautionary tale. She was an invitation to explore the unknown and to face the fears that lay within. As we wrap up this chilling tale of the Scissor Witch, we hope you felt the thrill of adventure and the power of bravery alongside Lucas. Remember, every story carries a lesson, and sometimes facing our fears can lead to incredible transformations. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, be sure to subscribe to Grum Secrets for more captivating stories that will ignite your imagination and keep you on the edge of your seat. We've got plenty more mysteries and legends waiting for you, so don't miss out. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep exploring the shadows of your imagination. Stay curious and remember, sometimes the scariest tales are the ones that lead to the most unexpected adventures. See you soon.